What's up, guys? See the title of the video today? First new setup, trying to figure it out. But title of the video today, just because for some reason YouTube wants to push these stupid videos to me about red pill bullshit, and it's obviously since they keep pushing it to me, I was clicking on it, and I just kind of want to put my own spin on it. Maybe not a spin on it or just an opinion, but it's really not as bad as you know people make it out to be. Like it's not always the woman's fault. The majority of the time, like it's your fault, and the reason for that is because like you let them into your life, regardless of if they have their own personal issues, whatever that may be. Just it's not always their fault. You let them into your life. You're the one that decided to date them, let them move in, take things more seriously. Majority of the time, you see the red flags, but you just choose to ignore them for whatever that reason may be. I did that in my last relationship. I'm not perfect either. That's why I'm making this video in the first place. But the girl that I was dating had very severe, like, separation anxiety and, things of that nature. And me by nature, I've always been somebody that was okay with being alone, because I would go to the gym 7 days a week. I was locked in, I was weighing everything. I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning, going to the gym, going to work at 6 a.m., getting off, going to bed at 7 p.m., like clockwork. I was doing that every single day. And I was doing that for years. And once I got into the last relationship that I was in, all of that changed. I don't want to say I let myself go because I didn't, but I definitely wasn't as locked in. I wasn't as in shape. I wasn't as big, as lean, just because I wasn't giving it my 100% because I was doing everything that I could to try to make her happy, and unfortunately, with people like that, sometimes there's nothing you can do. Anyway, like I was saying, had an interruption. I allowed that into my life. There was nothing I can do. But just because there was nothing that I can do doesn't mean, I need to go around blaming women all day. It's a stupid way of thinking, and that's what keeps men down and keeps you guys from literally like achieving nothing. In the last like 3-4 months, that I've been separated now, I'm locked back in. I am going as hard as I can. I'm getting back to how I used to be, and I'm going straight back to locking in. Or I can do what other people are doing and I can make the choice to just fucking be sad about it, think about it all the time, hate women because the last couple of women that I chose to be with just decided, they wanted to be the way that they are. And I'm going to ignore the fact that I was the one that, ooh, hit the stand, that I was the one that allowed them into my life to fucking begin with. You see how that's a stupid way? That's a stupid way of thinking. And I think they call it red pill. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't care enough to really learn the proper term, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Like when you blame women and hate women and everything. And if that's true, it's a stupid way of thinking. And the other way of thinking is stupid too. I think it's stupid in general to just lock yourself into a way of thinking in like a hive mind mindset. Because that's what I see these red pill people, blue pill people. What's the other one? Black pill people. Um, I'm old. I'm 31. The maxing people. They make words with maxing in it. I think all of that is dumb because if you lock yourself into a way of thinking and you just refuse to accept any other form of thinking or any other ideology, it's a horrible way to live. Your life is never going to change. You're going to stay the same way. Most of the new opportunities that I have been given is because I am open-minded and I will listen to everybody, even if I don't agree with you. If you start out by talking about something that I know for a fact I do not agree with, I could care less. Majority of the time, I'm still going to listen to them because even if I come out of the conversation and I don't agree, with like whatever it is that they were talking about, I have a new view on it. You know, because see, sometimes I talk over myself. I start talking too fast and my thoughts race so fast. But sometimes, even if I don't agree with whatever it is, that they're talking about, I always come out learning something new because everybody has a new perspective on something, and you need to think that way. You can't go around, just automatically applying your past experiences to everybody else. And that comes back to the, that thinking of you just need to blame women. It's women's fault. Of course, there's women out there that have more problem than others, but there's also men out there that have more problems than others. And if you think for 1 second that letting toxic people come into your life, whether they're male or female, is not a problem and a toxic trait in itself, that's the issue. Plain and simple. Because you let them people in, you could very easily tell them, hey, this just isn't going to work out. Me and you don't see eye to eye. I've expressed multiple times about these things and how I feel, and you refuse to listen to it and take it into account and try to make this work. So, unfortunately, we have to go our separate ways. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I can say that because I'm accepting responsibility. The last relationship that I was in, I I fell for it in a way, she was a very attractive woman, the most attractive woman that I have ever been with. And because of that, I fought so hard to make it work. So I got two lessons out of that. First lesson is no matter what, you can't allow, toxic people into your life. If they're unwilling to fix themselves, if they're unwilling to make themselves better, then, it's not meant to be. Second of all, looks isn't everything. Looks is not everything. I always lived by that, and I can confidently say the worst relationships that I've been in, the relationships that I came out with the least amount of value, it was always with, more attractive women. And I'm not applying that every attractive woman out there is a problem. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is, unfortunately, the most attractive women that I have been with all usually had the same, temperaments. And I've met plenty of attractive women, that were calm and collected and respectful and nice. And they let their husbands go and do whatever they want for hours on end. And they're not spam texting them all the time. They're not worried about it because they trust them and they love them and they have a level head. They have emotional intelligence. I unfortunately have not found myself a very attractive woman that has those qualities, but that doesn't mean all attractive women out there don't have that quality in them. Now, is there an argument to be said that statistically, more women that are attractive have these issues? Probably that's a possibility just because of social media and the way, things are presented to people now. I feel a lot of people's issues come from their social media consumption and their inability to just accept the fact that they can't compare themselves to these people that they see on the internet because you only see the best. And they also can't help the fact that they're being manipulated by these algorithms. And that's just a whole nother story in itself. But that's all I got for today. Just was going to record this video, kind of getting better, at talking off the dome. I don't do scripts or anything. And trying to get my audio situation figured out because I bought this stupid expensive mic and I have no fucking way to make it sound good. There's people with $50 Blue Yeti minis out there. Sounds better than this fucking $400 microphone. So I'm going to try to get that figured out. But I'm going to talk to you guys later. A lot more videos coming. Peace.